Hi, I'm Bob McKenney, Executive Director of the YMCA AllardCenter in Goffstown. We're on the back road in Goffstown, and today on our show we have Karen Provo with us. Karen is our Camp and Family Director, but that title seems so inadequate because not only does Karen oversee our large day camp, she also oversees all our family activities, and beyond that, she is a lifeguard, she is a swimming instructor, she oversees also our senior center. And she's sort of a director with many hats and has a lot of experience with the YMCA movement in general and at our branch. And today we're going to be talking about the senior center itself and a lot that's going on there. It's been growing more and more really since summer. It's just sort of mushroomed in the activity and new people coming every day. But before we get into that, I'd really like Karen to just tell us a little bit about herself. I think one of the most interesting things about these programs is learning about our staff and what their experience is, what they've done, how they've been engaged with the Y. And so Karen, if you just open up, tell us a little bit about your experience with the Y, what kind of makes you stick with the Y, and your background in general. It helps people understand.
So when I was in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up. And I remember during my senior year, the guidance counselor gave me the Northeastern University catalog to take home over Christmas vacation, and my mother and I were looking through it, and we saw this degree program called Recreation. So I was fortunate enough to be able to go to Springfield College and have a bachelor's degree in community and outdoor recreation. So I consider myself a professional little kid. So we started there. And Springfield College was founded as the International YMCA Training School, and that's where the YMCA Triangle was developed. That's where basketball was invented and all of those kinds of things. That's where they trained YMCA professionals. And then I stayed home with my kids for a few years after that and did a few other things. And then we were living in Lowell, Mass, and I had an opportunity to start volunteering, teaching swimming lessons there. And it grew into a full-time position where I was the camp director and swim coach and all kinds of things there. And over the years, I really loved what I was doing, and it was time to make some changes. And I left for a little while, worked for the Girl Scouts, and then I came back to the Y. And I just think the mission, the ability to build relationships, seeing the kids every day. You know, as you know, they call me Cookie at camp, and I can't walk down the hallway during the day when the kindergarten class is out and about because, you know, Miss Cookie, and they all have to tell me a story. We were almost late getting here today because I got stopped in the kindergarten room on my way out the door. And I think it's just having the opportunity to make a difference in people's lives and do that on a daily basis. I don't think there are many jobs that you can get that really, you know, you can see a difference on a daily basis.
Totally agree. Yeah, it's true. I mean, each individual, we get to be connected into so many people. I mean, you more than probably anyone else at our Y. It is like you are the mayor of the YMCA. When you walk through the building, it's like everyone finds her. It's Miss Cookie, and it is like a cookie sighting, and it's pretty cool. It does tell about the impact that you have on the lives of these kids, and just so people understand, we have a variety of different day camps at the Y over the summer. It's 10 to 12 weeks depending on the summer season, how it goes. And we have a discovery camp, we have a tennis camp, we have gymnastics camp, we have adventure camp, we have sports camps. You oversee Camp Half Moon and sort of the sports camps and the specialty camps, but all of our camps all together, there are some weeks where we have over 600 kids a day in camp, and we touch, I don't know what the numbers are this year, probably 1,300 individual campers over the course of the year, and you kind of orchestrate that whole thing, and people think, well, that's great, what does she do for the other 42 weeks of the year? But camp happens all year round in one sense, and that you're preparing for it.
We're getting ready. Actually, next week we'll start budgeting, and the camp guide goes to press the first week of December, so it's right around the corner already. This is the waiting for camp season, and it's always the hardest season of the year for us, but it's a busy season.
Yeah, and here we are in just the beginning of November now, and boom, we're already talking about it, and it'll be here before you know it. Yep. But it's a great camp experience. The staff you've recruited, the experiences that those kids have had, just the character values of the YMCA being instilled every day in all the things that we do, and that really caring, honesty, respect, responsibility. Those are the 4 character values of the Y, and that's all throughout camp. It's all throughout every program we do. And that's not any different for the senior program, which we're going to talk about today. Yep. Just to give our viewers a little bit of background, the Y in Goffstown created a senior and teen center. It opened about just over a year ago.
Just over a year.
Wow, quick year. And some of you may have been aware of the community forum going on, trying to address the issues with teens and seniors in our community, the issue of single parents with kids at home, and or even two parents with kids at home and unable to really find something for them to do, especially the teens after school. And with seniors were becoming, the statistics show, the data shows that they become more depressed as they get more isolated. Their physical activity is not as good, and they really need to be in community. And the YMCA is all about community. So the Y responded building this teen and senior center. And the first part of the day, it's all about seniors.
Yep.
And the second part of the day, it's all about teens. And you're actually involved in both very much. But you've really been kind of marshaled to pull together the senior part of what happens. And just maybe talk a little bit about a typical day. Talk about today. I mean, we were both down in the center today seeing what was going on. And I walked in, and it just every day I'm more amazed. But talk a little bit about today.
So today was our monthly potluck lunch. And we try to schedule it around the wellness classes. You know, there's a Tai Chi class for folks to help with their balance and, you know, strengthening and things like that. So, and there's, you know, that gets out at 11. And then there's a water fitness class that goes in the pool at 1:30. So we try to schedule the potluck lunches and the other activities around the other wellness classes that are going on. And you just never know how many people are going to come, and you just never know what awesome food you're going to get. I'm very, very honest about the fact that my favorite food is anything somebody else makes. And today we had quite
Mine
a
too.
variety, and I think there were over 20 people that came today, and they were milling around, and you know, they were proud to share. You know, for some of them, you know, if they live alone, this is, you know, they get to cook the whole casserole and not have to eat it all by themselves. So they get to share that, and just the camaraderie and the conversation. Thursdays is also Mahjong Day, and that's been growing over the last. We started it in the spring, last spring sometime, and it's taken a while to take off. But we actually had three Mahjong games going on today, so there were 12 people playing Mahjong. And we started a raffle today as well, because we need to buy our own Mahjong set. A couple of the people head to Florida in a few weeks for the winter. We need to have our own set in the center. But, you know, the conversation that goes on, and, you know, they're talking about, you know, their latest doctor's appointments, or they're talking about their fitness class, or they're talking about, you know, all kinds of things. You know, there's just, the community is awesome, and it's been growing. Today was one of our bigger potluck lunches. You know, that we've done several different ones. We try to theme them to the season. So today was a sort of a fall theme. I think our most popular one last year was National Soup Month in January. We had a soup potluck. I think I was in heaven, and everybody was, because we had 9 different soups to try. But it's something that we try to do. Next month we're going to do a Thanksgiving potluck, and it's going to be, you know, we'll cook some turkeys, and then everybody will bring the sides, and it really builds community. You know, there's some folks there that, you know, they might be caring for a spouse who has challenges, and the spouse can't necessarily get out, but they get out for, you know, they can get out and get some social time. Or, you know, there's other folks who live alone, and this is their social outlet, and it's just awesome to see the groups growing. We started knitting in the spring, and you know, everybody pictures seniors sitting there and knitting, but this knitting group has really taken off, and they're doing projects. They've been knitting helmet liners for soldiers, and you know, there's a whole big box of helmet liners that are going to be donated so that soldiers overseas can have a warm liner to wear under their helmets. They've been knitting mittens. At the YMCA, we do an angel tree at the holidays to give gifts to families in need, and you know, the members are encouraged to bring toys and jackets and things like that, but it's always nice to see when we're sending a load of gifts out with a family that we can throw in some hats and mittens for the kids as well. So the seniors are really, you know, a lot of them have been knitting for years. We have a lot of new knitters as well, but the ones that have been knitting for years, you know, have pretty much run out of people to knit for. You know, the grandchildren are growing up and may not want a sweater from Grammy anymore or something like that. So they are thrilled to have some real projects that they can sink their teeth into and really still be making a difference in the world around them. So that's been very popular as well.
I've noticed just sort of watching, there was this core group of folks that kind of started it and got it going, and Pat Murphy was certainly one of those volunteers who, even before the center, before the first shovel went in the ground, she was like, I want to help get this thing going. Yep. And she's been a stalwart volunteer since day one, and even today I just had to pull her aside and say, look at what's happened here. And you know, similarly, the two of you were kind of the, I don't know if you call it the brains, but sort of the, really the genesis of getting this thing going and really off the ground and to be what it is. And it is a place to kind of be and belong. It's very much a community, and it's not, what's really impressed me about it is I was worried that it was going to be a closed off community. There was just going to be this group of people, and it was going to be their group and hard to penetrate, but there are new people there.
Mm-hmm.
Like today, I was just going to say, we saw someone today, and friends do bring friends, right? Mm-hmm. And say, hey, have you heard about this? Come on over, or a neighbor or whatever, but people just show up too, and it was great. It was just as if she had been there since the beginning. Yep. How welcoming the community is, and that's huge. Yep.
And it's not just activities in the center. You mentioned Pat. She is the YMCA pickleball queen. When she came to the Y, she was already a pickleball fanatic, and she talked with us about making sure that we offered pickleball. It's not something that was going to be that was on our schedule already, and we had actually 19 people showed up on Wednesday. It's been growing. We have 2 courts that we can use for a couple of hours on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and it's been growing now that the weather's getting colder and all the pickleball players are moving indoors and they're looking for places to go play. We've been growing, and we can have 8 people at a time, and the other day there were 12 people that showed up, and then this week there were 19. So we're looking at some options. How can we extend the time that's available, and how can we continue to serve these people, because this is another group of people that they want to be more, they're not the ones that are going to come and knit, although some of the knitters are playing pickleball as well. So what I think I like the best about our senior programming is it's not just come have coffee and knit. It's come have coffee and knit, but it's also maybe come have coffee after you played pickleball for a couple of hours, or before you go to your water fitness class. Or we also have trips that we've been offering. We do some walking on the rail trail, and again, I was talking with a woman the other day who loves to walk, but she's not going to go walk on the rail trail by herself. So this gives her an opportunity to connect with a group of people that are going to walk at the same time, and she can get out on the trail, which she loves, and still but not be alone. And that's the key. We're working more on figuring out what some of those other trips are going to be. Some of our trips are next month we're going to go to Polly's Pancake Parlor up in Sugar Hill. And the members have been asking about it, and I know foliage season is done, but it's still beautiful to drive up through the White Mountains any time of the year. And there's a whole group that are really excited about doing that. Last spring we took a group down to the flower show in Boston. And these are people that really wanted to go to the flower show, but they don't want to drive in Boston.
Who wants to deal with that?
Yeah. I don't like driving in Boston either. So, but we're offering some trips like that. So some of the trips are free. Some of the trips there's a cost involved with it. But I think we're working out the details to make sure that people can, with our program for all programs and membership for all and those kinds of things, we're making sure that our seniors can afford what it is that we're trying to offer. It's a nice balance of, things have to, we have to pay for supplies and things like that. But I think we've had a number of people donate things. We've got more bins of yarn right now. We could knit. I don't even know how many.
So please don't send any yarn.
Yeah, we don't need any more yarn right now. But a lot of the projects, they were making pillowcases in a sewing class recently, and one of the members brought in her stash of fabric, and we used some of the stash that we already had, and they were making some beautiful pillowcases, which Maureen, the member who had brought the fabric in and brought the idea to us, she uses them as gift bags. And sometimes the recipient will keep the pillowcase and use it as a pillowcase, and she said sometimes she gets it back so she can fill it up again with presents. But I think that's the other part of building that community. It's not, we, the staff, can come up with ideas of what we want to do in the center, but we've been reaching out to the members and saying, what is it that you want to see here? And oh, by the way, can you help us facilitate it? We have, Judy comes in and she's the one that's teaching the knitting and just did a mitten class, and Doris is the mahjong person who has been kind of getting that off the ground for us, and the other day we had some new people come to try mahjong, and Doris didn't play, she actually sat and coached the new folks. So you might see mahjong and say, I'm interested, but I'm a little frightened of it because it seems really complicated, but the people who are there are awesome and will sit down and explain it to you and are very, very patient. The painting classes are the same thing. Carrie teaches painting classes, and it's sort of like the sip and paint or whatever those classes are called. Except
like
we sip coffee at our classes. But Carrie comes up with they painted a lighthouse at sunrise, and one of my favorite things is right now there's several of them on the windowsill looking out over camp, and when the sun shines through from the backside, the sunrises glow. They look like
on the painting itself.
On the painting itself, it looks like they're on. It looks like the sun is rising. So it's it's not all of the things that are going on in there are facilitated by staff by any means, and we're always asking people. One of the things about having my office right there is if I'm not out socializing with the seniors, I'm in my office and I might hear somebody say, it would be really nice if we could learn fill in the blank. And my ears will perk up and I'll make a note, and then we'll reach out and say, okay, so who can teach, or who can lead, or what's a resource that somebody might have. And that's how a lot of our things have gotten started, is that we've just reached out. There's somebody who comes in and helps people make holiday cards, greeting cards, and we're going to be doing that at the potluck lunch as well, the Thanksgiving potluck lunch. They're going to be making holiday or Thanksgiving cards. So it's just the resources of the people, so they're getting a chance to give back as well.
And it's finding out what they need, what they want to do, what skills they need to learn, and then just, okay, how do we make that happen?
Right.
So that we can respond to that need. And that's really, that's what the Y is all about, too, is meeting community needs.
We have a nutrition person on our staff now who's coming in, and she's been teaching, how to make healthy smoothies and, things like that, so that the sky's the limit. There is no limit to what can possibly be done. Next month we're doing a do-it-yourself class they're making bath salts and lip balms, and I don't remember anything else what they're doing in that day. But these are things that somebody could come in and make them for themselves, or they could make them as gifts. And where seniors often don't have the resources, this can help supplement the gift giving at the holiday season, and that's something that's pretty cool as well.
Now, if people aren't familiar with the Y, I want to just sort of paint a picture of what this space looks like and how it relates to the rest of the facility. The AllardCenter is the largest program YMCA in New England, so it's a huge facility. People always walk in the front door and they say, oh, wow, I had no idea. And you take them on a tour and like, I didn't know this was here. I didn't know this was here. It's a very large facility with lots of program spaces. When you're a member, it's not like you're just a member of a gym or a member of a swim place, but there are so many things that you can do. And that's the same for older adults. It's amazing how many things older adults can do. You were talking about the center, and we opened up talking about building this teen and senior center. And it's its own space. It's its own kind of wing of the facility that's nice glass, and you can see Mount Onkanunik, and you can see down at the camp, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful scene out there.
Lots of windows.
Lots of windows, lots of light, and it's a neat space the way it's designed with a good kitchen and all those things. But that's where you said there were 20 people in there at one point today, but it is like you said, people are coming in and out of that space pretty much from 9 o'clock in the morning roughly until about 2 in the afternoon. In and out of the space. So some people are there most of that time, but there are other people that just come in for a while, get a cup of coffee, hang around, sit out in the hallway. A lot of people stand out in the hallway. They don't actually make it in, but there's just this community that's going on. And we have this express entrance that's a quick way to get to the center that's also open most of that time. And I was looking at how many people come in through the express entrance, and we can tell by age because we track for security and safety purposes each person walking in that door and background check them. But as I just took a look, and well over 100 people over 65 came in that door whatever day it was, Monday I think it was, or maybe it was Friday last week. And it's amazing how many people come in, and they're going all different places. Like you said, pickleball, they might be going to a group exercise. We have 50 group exercise classes, and there's almost 20 water exercise classes. And you go in there, and they're older adults in a lot of those classes in the morning. There'll be 20 people in a water exercise class, and you'll see some of them down at the center before or after, and it's kind of neat. So I didn't want to give you the perception it's like a holding tank for seniors. They're all over the building, and these older adults are this is sort of a place to filter through and have some community and hang out, and it's like their space to be, and I just love that. I should mention that the center is free if you're a member, and there is a drop-in fee if you want to just come visit, but the memberships are pretty inexpensive, and if you have a financial need, because we are a nonprofit, we have something called Membership for All. And Membership for All, we just kind of guide you through that process and make it affordable so you can become a member. We'd much rather help you do that and come to the center and enjoy all these classes, the group exercise classes, the water exercise classes for free, and just be part of that community. That's sort of our mission. Blood drive coming up. Talk a little bit about that and talk about Thanksgiving weekend.
So Thanksgiving weekend, that Saturday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, we are having an American Red Cross blood drive at the Y. It's open to the public. The seniors will be volunteering that day as greeters, helping get people through the process and making sure they get their snacks after. So again, one of the community service things that our active older adults are looking for to give back. There's also open house that weekend, and people can come in and check out the facility and find out about other programs that we have for the whole family.
Right.
You can go to the Y and learn how to swim. You can learn how to play tennis. There's dance classes. There's gymnastics classes. There are teams in all of those sports as well. It's just amazing. Bob was mentioning how large the YMCA is. My new office, since they built the center, is in the new center at the back of the building overlooking camp. But one day I measured, and from my old office in the front of the building, where the tennis lounge is upstairs, it's more than 1/10 of a mile, and there are shorter ways to get there if you go outside, but if you walk through the building, it's 1/10 of a mile inside the building. It's an amazing facility, and throughout the year there are family programs. For family members, we have free family activities pretty much every day of the week. There's open gym time, and we have an indoor climbing gym, which there aren't a whole lot of YMCA's that have indoor climbing gyms. It's a dedicated space where when I walk by, I tease some of the campers about hanging around because they're climbing the walls literally in the climbing gym. And then folks are coming in and just you see the families in the basketball gym just shooting hoops and having fun together. The sports classes that we have going on throughout the year, there are classes for an adult and a child to learn soccer skills and learn basketball skills and things like that. It's just, I think our program guide this time for fall 1 and 2 for the fall season is like 80 pages long, and it can be overwhelming when you start looking through it. And the trick is to go into that centerfold where it says
your age.
You find your age, and then you go down the chart, and your dance classes are here, and your swim classes are here, and that's been a welcome addition, I think, to the guide, because you probably know, I have no idea how many classes we offer, every session in our 7-week sessions. It's just, there's just kids and adults and seniors and everybody in between, all day long. From the time we open in the week, it opens at 5:30 in the morning and closes at 10 at night during the school year. And the weekends, the hours are a little bit shorter, but there's always something going on.
I think there's in the neighborhood of 3,000 program participants per session.
Yeah.
That's a lot of kids and families and older adults and so forth coming through.
Yeah.
If you come on Thanksgiving weekend, if you bring you can come and you can bring a non-perishable food item, and you can come check out the Y for free. Just bring that food item with you, or if you're a member already, bring a guest as well, and come for free and check us out. We do have Membership for All, so discounted memberships for people that need it, and that's the same with programs. So if there's a program you're interested in, we have discounts and for all that as well.
Yep.
Tell people when the center is open.
So right now the center is open from 10 to 2, Monday through Friday. That seems to be the time that is best suited for the folks that are there. Some of the trips will start at 9 in the morning and get back after the center closes, but the activities in the center itself are typically from 10 to 2. A painting class might be 2 hours long, and it would be sometime during those, usually 11 to 1 or something like that. So there's different programs that have different times within that 10 to 2, but pretty much during 10 to 2 you can be assured of a cup of coffee or tea. And some good conversation.
Right, and then there's lots going on either side of that as well,
Right.
just not in the center,
Right.
unless you're a teen in the afternoon.
Right. Then around 3 o'clock, the energy level in the room changes just a tad.
So does the noise level. Well, I don't know about that.
I don't
but
know
yeah.
about that. The teens show up. We have after school care for teens who are not quite from 5th grade up, who are not quite old enough to stay home alone yet. They can get bused to the Y and hang out and have a snack, and there's all kinds of activities. They were doing a Lego building competition this week. I happened to see some of the amazing things that they were creating with Legos. But they also, yesterday they decorated for Halloween, and I was teasing them that the maid wasn't doing a very good job because they were hanging spider webs everywhere. So the whole center is full of spider webs right now.
It is kind of creepy. Yeah.
But they have a good time. They'll take them outside on nice days. They'll go out and play basketball out in Camp Half Moon on the basketball court, or they'll help them with homework. Kids who want to get their homework done before they go home at the end of the day can get some homework help. We have some laptops that they can use. The priority is for homework first, but then they can, under supervision, kind of check out some other things. They can watch some YouTube videos. The staff is there watching to make sure it's appropriate content and things like that. But we do have some technology like that they can use. They love the video games. Those are not allowed for the whole time they're there. Those are limited in, I think they have about an hour of technology time each day. And some days it's earlier for the kids who are there earlier, and some days it's later. But we're trying to encourage them to be social. There's a pool/air hockey table that is very popular. And so we're trying to encourage them to play games and do things that help them talk with each other.
More interactive,
More
yeah.
interactive than being, because when it's amazing when it's not technology time, the noise level is at a certain point, and when technology time starts, it gets pretty quiet in there.
Yeah.
And that's they're playing video games or they're playing on their own phones, and they're just not interacting with each other. So we try to limit that. That time, just the social time is way more important for them.
I agree. Well, thank you for stopping in, Karen, and talking to us about the senior programming and a little bit of everything else, and helping everyone to get to know you a little bit better. If you want to know more about the senior program, stop on by. You can just stop in at the Welcome Center, tell them that Bob, you saw us on Goffstown TV, and we invited you in. Come on by. You can get a guest pass to check us out, come visit the center, have a cup of coffee. The coffee's free.
The coffee is
That'll
free.
probably bring about 100 people tomorrow now that we announced that there's free coffee at the AllardCenter. But for seniors that want to come down and be in the center between roughly 10 and 2.
And check out the newsletter. There is a newsletter that comes out, a monthly newsletter that has all the details of the specific programs, but certainly I encourage and invite anybody who has an idea of something that they think other active older adults would like to have in the center, or if there's something that you would like to have in the center, let us know, and we'll see. Impossible just takes longer. We can get it done.
Right, and these are all over town. These are at Sully's, Hannaford's, et cetera. I mean, they're just all over. You can pick one up in our lobby. You can go to graniteymca.org. That's our website. It lists programs and so forth there. We have a Facebook page. A lot of our senior activities are on the Facebook page for the YMCA AllardCenter. So we are the YMCA AllardCenter in Goffstown. We're on the back road. Like I mentioned, our website is graniteymca.org, and hope you come visit us. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.